You're going to deliver 2 airline breasts, and then leg thigh combo, deboned, carcass, and then just these wing flaps. They'll be left over, but we're not going to forget those. We're going to include those, right? So, multiple ways you can go about this. I remove the legs first. You're facing right at me, right? I go in between the breast and the leg here. And I try to leave as much skin coverage as I can for each, right? For the breast and for the leg. So I want it nice and even so it's covering. This looks good, so I'll do the same on the other side. Just come right in between. Go through the membrane that is attached here, right? Flip it over. And now we just continue this cut. We're going to bring it up over. We want to remove all this. So we want to include the uppermost muscle, which is the oyster, right? We want to include that and then come on down. So we're going to just bring our knife right across here until we get to that muscle, and you can feel it, right? You can feel the bone on the back of your finger there. You want to get the tip of your knife under that. So down, right? The leg here, it's easiest to remove if you pop the joint and the bone is right there when you pop it. So now we have the oyster removed, right? The joint is popped out. So all we're doing now is just coming right down behind that joint. We're going to remove that bone and cartilage so we're good, nice and clean. So the same here, right? You're going to come straight across to the oyster, get that oyster removed, pop the point, pop the bone out, behind. We're going to leave the skin on these roulottes. So skin stays on, so we do want that nice coverage. The breast has nice coverage still. This is good. Right, so we'll get to these in a minute. Let me get to the breast here. And so again, the wishbone is right here. It kind of impedes you getting full yield from the breast. So we want to remove that. So we just take our knife and go down. It's easier to see. Let me try to open this up so you can see. Okay. So you can feel it. It's right here. So you just want to take your knife and go down each side. And then just kind of manually remove it. Kind of is the quickest way to go. If you snap it or break it, that's okay. Again, sometimes they come already snapped or broken, so you may have to fish out a few pieces. But it comes up to the top here. And this one did. All right, so we got a little bit of bone here. Remove. One side and the other. There we go. So that can go with the carcass if you want. Now we have nothing in our way when we're going to go for the breast here. What I'll do is, again, make the skin nice and covered, right? Nice and tight. And then I'll hold it tight with my offhand and just make one long incision from top to bottom. You want to go through any skin or membrane down here. Same for the top. You want to come through all the way. Now we're through, right? And we're going to work off whatever side our knife landed on. We're going to work, so it landed on this side. The tenderloin is underneath, right? So just, you can manipulate that by your hand. Just kind of move it away. There is a rib bone right here. Right? You want to stay above that. And we're just going right along the rib cage here until we get to the joint where the wing and the breast are. There's a silvery band right there. Can everyone see that? There's a silvery band right there. You're going to run your knife right into that, and it's going to open up the joint. Now you go through the joint, remove. We have our breast and wing combo. We're going to do the same on the other side, except we're going to include any flesh that we missed on the first pass. We're going to include it. So we're going to get right up on the sternum and include it in our cut. That's why we removed the wishbone, so we can do that. And again, this meat's really tender. You don't want to push too hard with your hand and destroy it or anything like that. Be careful. Your rib bone is going to be here again. You want to stay above that. There it is. Work it off the rib cage until we get up to that band again. There it is. We'll go right in between, straight down. There's our rest and combo. We have our carcass here, so we have to get this into stock ready, right? Carcass. So right in half, easy. Take the skin, just trim it away. There's a few sections on the upper back here, and on the lower half, behind the saddle. Just run your knife behind, and it peels. Peels if your hand's not slippery. There we go. Peels. And so this is scrap, right? We can get rid of scrap, but as far as the bones and everything, we're just looking at it's clean, mostly removed. That's fine. I can submit that. And then here, we're going to remove the offal from the cavity right here. Pull that away. Nice and clean. There we go. If you see any excess flesh or skin, it's not a bad idea to remove it here. And now we have our carcass ready to go. We have a little bit of a mess here. Put that in the scraps. Can I get a new cutting board?
No, you didn't. I thought I was going to get hit with that, so I was like, oops.
Chef, you want this water out of the simmer or you want to keep it boiling?
In between? Oh.
In between.
I need it to boil for the tomato. You can turn it down to simmer, thank you. All right, so airline breast. We're looking for good skin coverage. You can see on your rubric what we're looking for. Good skin coverage, right? No excess fat or sinew. The tenderloin, you can leave it attached or you can simply peel it away. That is perfectly fine. We're going to go where our airline breast is. So to remove the upper part of the wing and leave that part attached, we're going to take our knife and go right below the joint and just run it around. And then clean the flesh down the bone. We're exposing it, Frenching it, right, getting it down. I'll also pull up. You want it as clean as possible. It makes the separation better when we go to remove it. So we just go in reverse, right? We take it the other way and then peel down that cap. And that gives you the cleanest bone presentation. When you go reverse and then peel down, right? Our wing here, we can just remove the flap and present the flat straps. Make sure this is clean. Any excess fat, you'll find some pockets here. We're not going to cook this, but still present it as if you were, right? Make it nice and neat. So, although we want skin coverage, we don't want excess, like extra fat or skin. So just make it nice and tight. That's what we're looking for. This is on the smaller side. Used to the breast being so much larger on these chickens, so this is throwing me off a little bit. So same, right? Right below the elbow, if you will. I don't know if chickens have elbows or
Yeah, it works.
We'll say they do. Take it in reverse, peel it down. You may have a little bit of membrane left sometimes. That's normal. Doesn't always come out perfectly. You can peel it by hand or get it to a close enough point where it's not an issue. Again, the wing, move that piece here. So, and then we're going to look for anything that needs to be trimmed away. The tenderloin is still attached. That can just come off here. Just looking for clean. Fat pockets kind of hide up in here. And skin coverage looks good. There's a little fatty line here. Other than that, it looks pretty good. That. Go. So tenderloin, our breast, flats. Now we've got our legs. All right. So this is the one we are going to cook with. So we want to make sure we get our cuts right the first time. So we're going to debone the leg. Right. The leg runs in a angular pattern like this. Right. So a few ways to go about it. I'm going to show you the most simple way where we're just going to make an incision along the bones and remove it. We're just going to fillet it over. All right. You can pop this joint and pull it out and leave a pocket here without making an incision. So that is an option. We're gonna fillet this part open anyway, so there's really, you don't have to do that. Again, I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. I'm gonna show you one way today. I'm just gonna run my knife along the bone to get it to where I'm only exposing just the end of the bone. So now I can take it, and we're doing that Frenching technique. Makes it simple. So now we're at this joint. It's kind of a bulky joint. We're gonna take it down along here and go the other way. I find it easier to just make a starting point here at the leg, since we're going to wrap it up anyway. So any seams or open areas will be taken care of with the caul fat. I did get you caul fat. I got bison caul fat. Did I mention that?
Yeah.
It's kind of a little different from the pork. We're gonna test it right here. I'm gonna use a piece, and we'll go from there. All right. So now we kind of expose that. So now take the knife, run it up to the joint there. Cooperating. Let's go this way. There we go. So we're going to expose this, right? And just take it up. There's cartilage and whatnot in here. You may leave some behind. You're going to find it later, right? We're going to make sure when we get this bone out, we're going to feel around and make sure if anything was left behind. So don't worry about being so perfect in this area. What you really want to pay attention to is to not puncture the meat if you can, right? You want to try to keep it all as one. Looks like I'm not down there. Go around, push. And again, if it doesn't come out perfect, we can, again, kind of use our caul fat to wrap it up and seal it up. It might not be such an issue. Here we go. So we're at this bone here, right? Once we pass that, we can do the same with the leg, where we're just kind of pushing down. Now there is a bone that comes out of, where is it? It comes off this, so on the leg bone here, there's a little like splintery bone that kind of sticks off to the side, and you'll feel it here. You want to just kind of go around that when you get to it. And again, once we get this all filleted out, we'll feel around, we'll clean up any cartilage, any extra that needs to come away. Right, so again, I've just gone around the knee joint, if you will, expose that. Now we have our leg thigh combo. So we're going to open this up. Right? Any tendons or sinew here, we can kind of just get our knife and trim away. This is where the leg meets the ankle. Do chickens have ankles?
Yeah.
They have little ankles?
In culinary, they do.
They do. So we're going to open this up, make it look nice. We have a little extra here. Remove that away. Right. You want to just look as even as possible. Feel around for any cartilage pieces, right? Anything hard, we're going to trim that away. Looks like a little bit more tendon can come away here. Other side. We didn't pierce it. This is good, right? That would be an issue. So like I said, when you're going around this knee, that's the biggest issue, is to not puncture through. If you do, we will have to just roll with it. We got to make it work, right? But that's what we're trying to avoid. So from here, carcass, good. Now we have our salt and pepper. We're going to season. Right? Both sides. Fine. We have some chopped fig. Now, I know the recipe said 6. I did 8. I think 6 is right. It was a test. I said, not sure. But honestly, I think this chicken feels on the smaller side. It feels on the smaller side. So I want to say that normal size, I think 8 would have been right. 6 in this case is going to be. Right. So medium chop. All I did was take the top off the fig, split it down the middle, then turn that and ran it down the middle again and cut it twice. Just to get, so you get 6 halves, you get like 12 pieces out of each fig. This is kind of a medium chop, equivalent to your medium chop, like a 1/2 inch size, right? And that's all we need. This is going to rehydrate as it cooks, right? So we don't have to do anything further. We do have the caul fat here, and actually, maybe 4 and 4. Right? You don't have to go crazy with the stuffing. We want it to be in there, but it's not like it's going to be the only thing in there. It's just going to be kind of like a layer of it. We have our caul fat here.
Oh.
What the?
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
This one's a little bulkier, a little heavier than the pig. Pigs are a little thinner, a little lighter, so we may have a little residual. Once we're done cooking, we shall see. All right. What we really want to focus in on is obviously wrapping this up and getting coverage, if we can, on itself. So get a nice wrap there. You could technically go without the caul fat and just sear it seam side down and try to sear it that way. What we're able to do with this though is kind of get a all around coverage right on the end. You can get a little bit there.
Burrito wrap it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're burrito wrapping it.
And that's all we need. Very little. We don't want a whole lot on. Right, so we're going to sear this off in our pan and brown it, right? Pop it in the oven, or no, make our sauce and then get that into the oven. So I'll demo that. And I'll do the tomato and what else? Tournay.
Tournay.
Tomato and tournay. Okay. All right. So let's get over to the